You sit at the table, surrounded by laughter that sounds practiced. The rhythm of small talk fills the air. Weather, vacations, shows everyone pretends to love. Their voices blend into background music, soft and familiar. But you hear something else. A tremor in a sentence, a smile that lingers half a second too long, a silence that hides what no one wants to name. To everyone else, it's just another evening. To you, it's a storm beneath calm water. You wish you could float like them, skim the surface and call it connection. But your mind dives deeper before you even notice. You read the tension between words, the ache behind jokes, the way people try to hold themselves together. And sometimes you wonder, why can't I just stop noticing? Why can't I be lighter, easier, unbothered? If you've ever felt too awake for small talk, too aware in a world that prefers sleep, then you already know the quiet ache of being a deep thinker. You see what others blur out. You feel what others filter. And in the spaces between words, you live a secret life of meaning. But here's what nobody told you. Seeing this clearly is both your gift and the reason you often feel alone. You try to stay light. You nod, smile, laugh at the right time. But part of you is always somewhere else, listening between the lines, feeling the invisible currents everyone else seems to ignore. You notice the strain in someone's voice when they say they're fine, the flicker in their eyes when they talk about something that used to make them happy. You catch it all, the fear, the longing, the quiet collapse behind the practiced smiles, and it hurts more than anyone knows. Because while they talk about weekend plans, you're thinking about why no one ever talks about what really matters. You crave conversations that mean something, not about trends or gossip, but about truth and loss and how people actually feel inside. But when you try, the air changes. People shift in their seats. Someone jokes to break the tension, and you feel it again. That invisible wall between you and the world. So you retreat. You hide your real thoughts behind soft smiles and short answers. You tell yourself it's fine, they just wouldn't understand. But deep down it stings, that quiet rejection of your depth. You carry your unspoken words like stones in your pockets. You weigh yourself down so you can seem light enough for them to hold. And maybe you've started to believe what they say, that you're too intense, too sensitive, and too much. But you're not too much. You're just tuned to a different frequency, one that hears what most people can't. Still, it's exhausting, isn't it? To keep feeling this much in a world that keeps saying, don't think so deeply. You laugh along even when the sound feels hollow. You pretend not to notice the things that break your heart a little. Because being aware, being you, can feel like standing in the middle of a noisy crowd, hearing a truth no one else can bear to listen to. And you wonder quietly, is there anyone out there who hears it too? But here's the thing. If this is you, if your heart and mind never learned how to stay on the surface, there's a reason your radar won't turn off. You've probably wondered why your mind works the way it does, why you can't just switch it off, why every silence feels loaded, why every emotion you sense in others seems to echo inside you. There's a reason. It's not a flaw in your wiring. It is your wiring. Carl Jung once wrote that the more conscious a person becomes, the more they suffer from the unconsciousness of others. And maybe that's what you've been feeling your whole life, the weight of noticing what most people don't. You process things more deeply. Your nervous system stays open longer, collecting details others filter out. The small twitch in someone's mouth when they lie. The shift in tone when someone hides pain under humor. The faint disappointment in someone's voice when they say, it's fine. You pick it all up and you feel it. Like your brain and heart are tuned to a higher frequency that never stops humming. For most people, the world is a blur of color and noise. But for you, every shade carries meaning. Every glance has weight. Every pause feels like a story waiting to be told. Jung believed that people like you have touched something beneath the surface of ordinary awareness. The unconscious, that deep ocean of emotion, memory, and intuition that most only glimpse in dreams. And once you've touched that, you can't go back. You can't pretend the surface is enough. It's like suddenly discovering color after living in black and white. The world becomes too vivid to ignore, too loud, too alive. That's the frequency of truth. You vibrate at it, even when it hurts, because truth isn't soft. It's not convenient. It asks you to look where others turn away. It asks you to feel what others numb. It asks you to question everything that everyone else accepts. You might think you're broken for seeing through illusions, but in reality, you're just awake in a world that prefers sleep. Awakening isn't peaceful. It's disorienting. You see the masks people wear, the lies society tells to keep things easy, the way conversations stay shallow because everyone is afraid of drowning in honesty. And yet, despite the loneliness, part of you would never trade this awareness for ignorance. Because you know what it feels like to touch something real, to feel the pulse of meaning beneath everything ordinary. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, even when it means separating from the collective noise. Awareness comes with a cost. When you can see everything, you can't unsee it. When you can feel everything, you can't unfeel it. And sometimes that sensitivity feels like standing in front of the world without skin, every sound sharper, every emotion deeper, every disappointment heavier. But here's what nobody told you. This depth isn't fragility. It's perception. It's your mind's way of searching for coherence in chaos. You're not fragile. You're finely tuned. And the world was never built for people like that. So when life feels too loud, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're listening to frequencies others can't hear. You're hearing the truth most have forgotten. And yes, it's isolating, but it's also what makes you you. You walk into a room and feel everything. Before anyone says a word, you already know who's hurting. You feel the tension before it's named. You taste the sadness no one talks about. It's as if every emotion in the room is a frequency, and you're the antenna catching them all. People call it intuition. Psychologists call it sensitivity. But what it really feels like it is weight. You absorb people's energy like a sponge in a storm. Their anxiety becomes a buzz in your body. Their anger, a tightness in your chest. Their sorrow, a quiet ache that settles into your bones. You carry what isn't yours. Jung called this psychological contagion, how emotion moves between people without words. You don't do it because you want to. You do it because your empathy doesn't have an off switch. It's not a choice. It's your nature. So you get tired, not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, a deeper fatigue, because all day you've been carrying fragments of everyone else's story. You keep it all, and you tell yourself you're strong enough to hold it. But strength isn't measured by how much you can absorb. It's measured by how gently you can release what isn't yours. Still, people are drawn to you, aren't they? They feel safe in your presence. They open up within minutes, trusting that you'll understand what they can't explain. They tell you their secrets. They cry into your silence. And you listen like it's sacred. But here's the irony. The ones who hold everyone are rarely held themselves. You become the comforter, the healer, the stable one. But when you start to fall apart, there's no one there who knows how to catch you. You give depth. You receive surface. You pour endlessly and wonder why you feel so empty. It's a quiet kind of heartbreak, to be needed by everyone but understood by no one. But you can care deeply without carrying everything. You can hold space without becoming the space. You can feel without absorbing. It's not selfish to protect your energy. It's survival, because your empathy isn't meant to be a wound. Okay, it's meant to be wisdom. There's a moment, quiet, almost unnoticeable, when you realize that being yourself costs too much. So you build what Jung called a persona, a carefully constructed version of you, light enough to be liked, soft enough to be safe. The mask becomes your passport to the world. It lets you move through crowds without friction. It keeps you from being too much, but it also keeps you lonely. Because how can anyone love you if they've never actually met you? You start living a double life, the public one where you're easy and the private one where you're real. Every day you lose a little piece of yourself to make everyone else comfortable. You tell yourself, it's just easier this way. But easier has its price, the slow erosion of your authenticity. Still, the mask doesn't mean you've lost yourself. It means you've protected yourself the only way you knew how. But the time comes when safety begins to feel like suffocation. When the mask starts to crack and the real you begins to push through. That's the beginning of awakening. Not rebellion, not defiance. Just quiet truth returning to its place. You were never too much. You were just too real for a world addicted to pretending. You weren't being difficult. You were being honest. It's not that you were too deep. It's that the world was too shallow to hold that depth. You became a mirror people didn't want to look into. So they called you too much, but you were simply too real. Jung said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. You've seen that truth play out everywhere. People numbing, distracting, running. And for a while you thought their calm meant you were wrong. But now you see, discomfort is the first sign of awareness. You didn't close off because you feared love. You closed off because love once felt unsafe. Your too muchness is just a language they never learned to speak. You speak in symbols and silences, in questions that dig beneath appearances. That's the wounded healer Jung wrote about, the one who transforms their pain into understanding. You've spent years collecting broken pieces and turning them into light. And that's not brokenness, that's mastery. You've been carrying depth like a curse, when it was always your compass. You are not fragile. You are profound. You are not too much. You are awake. There's a difference between being alone and being with yourself. Loneliness aches. Solitude breathes. For years you thought quiet meant absence. Now you're starting to feel its presence. In solitude, you don't have to explain yourself. You can just be. It's where your thoughts stretch without fear. Where you remember that peace isn't found in people. It's found in presence. At first, solitude was isolation. Now it's sanctuary. You've learned to decorate your loneliness with meaning. You stopped begging for rooms that couldn't hold you and started building your own. Solitude isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's how life brings you back home to yourself. When you belong to yourself, you stop chasing places that don't see your worth. You were never meant to escape solitude. You were meant to bloom in it. After years of pretending to fit, you start noticing something. Your people exist. They don't shine loudly. They appear quietly, like stars finding each other in the dark. It's in the way silence feels safe, the way they ask, "How are you really?" and wait for the truth. You can finally speak in your native language. Honesty. No shrinking. No translation. Deep recognizes deep. Truth recognizes truth. They don't call you intense. They call you real. They don't flinch when you dive deep. They dive with you. You meet them when you stop hiding. Because the mask can't attract what's meant for the soul. Belonging isn't about being liked. It's about being known. And when you find those people, the ones who see you without fear, you exhale. Because you were never hard to love. You were just waiting for love that spoke your language. You give everything. You feel everything. And then you wonder why you're exhausted. Because love for you means pouring. Completely, but love isn't meant to drain you. It's meant to flow through you, not out of you. Boundaries aren't walls. They're the shape of your compassion. They whisper, "I can meet you here, but not at the cost of myself." Empathy without limits becomes exhaustion. Love without balance becomes erasure. Saying no isn't rejection, it's respect. You can hold someone's hand without carrying their weight. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. Because the love that lasts is the love that includes you. You've stopped chasing applause. You've realized the world rewards performance, not truth. But the real rebellion is staying sincere. Jung said the greatest act of courage is to become yourself. And that's what you're doing, quietly, bravely. You're no longer trying to impress. You're trying to express. Meaning over noise, substance over style, depth over distraction. You are the slow heartbeat in a world that won't stop running. And that too is strength. Authenticity is your revolution. And every time you choose truth over comfort, you free someone else to do the same. You'll never see all the ripples you create. But they exist. Someone feels seen because you stayed gentle. Someone feels hope because you didn't hide. That's how change happens, quietly, human to human. Every act of authenticity shifts the collective heartbeat. You are the bridge Jung spoke of, between what's conscious and what's still asleep. But even light needs rest. So return to yourself. Write what you feel. Step into the quiet. Let it refill you. Healing isn't linear, it's a spiral. You revisit, refeel, release, each time a little lighter. You were never meant to escape your sensitivity. You were meant to use it. To create empathy, art, awareness, to make the invisible visible. That is your purpose, not to fix the world, but to stay alive within it. Maybe this story was never about being misunderstood. Maybe it was about remembering that depth is your home. You were never too much. You were made for more. The world will keep chasing noise, let it. You will keep listening for what's real. Because the world needs minds that think deeply, hearts that feel honestly, and souls brave enough to stay awake. And maybe that's you, a quiet revolutionary, a wounded healer, a deep thinker who finally learned to rest in her own light. So breathe, let the noise fade, let the truth settle. You are not alone. You never were. Scattered across this world are others like you, awake, aware, alive. And every time you speak your truth, you help them find theirs. Welcome home, deep thinker. Welcome home to yourself. If this spoke to something inside you, stay a while. The next one goes even deeper.